What's going on, guys? Multiverse Corrupt here with yet another action figure review video, and today we're having a look at the Walmart exclusive Eradicator from McFarlane Toys. Starting off this video, guys, we are of course taking a look at the McFarlane packaging, and it is of course a Walmart exclusive, so it does have the gold label up here at the top, the open face window, and the black, white, and blue casing, the DC Multiverse logo, as well as Eradicator's name down here at the bottom. Flipping over here to the side, guys, we see it says Eradicator from Shockwave. I don't really know much about that comic, but I guess I'll take a deep dive while I make this video. Flipping over here to the back, guys, is a comic image of Eradicator using some sort of gold flame or whatever the kind of powers he has for his hands. I don't really know much about Eradicator, but I'm excited to learn along the way. DC Multiverse and Eradicator's name over here on this side. Nothing really going on at the top. And then down here at the bottom is the barcode for you barcode guys. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and rip Eradicator out of the packaging and take a closer look. A Kryptonian AI super weapon, the Eradicator eliminated contaminating alien influences. On Earth, it built the Fortress of Solitude before trying to convert the planet into New Krypton. It took Superman's form after Doomsday killed him. On his resurrection, melded with Star Labs scientist David Cooper. After joining Hank Henshaw's Superman's Revenge Squad, the Eradicator served Zod's family. So here we have Eradicator out of the packaging, standing on the rotating turntable, and I think he looks fairly well. He's not one of my all-time favorite super beings from McFarlane Toys, but he is still one of the top tier. One of my favorite things I want to see with a future Superman is how the Superman emblem and the cape are conformed to one piece, or just looks like it. I like the cape connecting to the Superman logo and not just tucked in at his shoulder pads. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and take Eradicator off of the rotating turntable and take a closer look at the accessories that he came with. In terms of accessories, guys, the Eradicator does of course come with the standard McFarlane base, and it does of course have DC stamped right there on the front with the foot peg over here to the side. Taking a look at his trading card, guys, it is this comic image, and I have noticed that compared to the figure, he kind of has more of a gray skin tone and not this solid black that blends with his jet black hair and even his jet black suit. So I would have much rather see that gray be brought out more for the figure, but I digress. Flipping this over here to the back here, guys, is the read up, and if you have never paused to read it, pause and read this one, guys. It feels really weird when I read it. So just see if I'm just crazy or if it's just worded really wrong, just overall wrong. Going over here now, guys, looking at the swappable hands he comes with. He does, of course, come with two fisted hands for the punchy, and he does, of course, come with two open grabbing hands. With it looks like he dipped his hands in some Dijon mustard, maybe some honey mustard, actually. This is more of a honey mustard here going on. But I do realize it is supposed to represent his little blast effects for his hands. Now, me being me, I would have much rather seen the blast effects instead of just painting on the yellow fingertips. Looks like he's been eating cheese puffs like that scene from Toy Story 2. But I digress on the subject. Also, if these hands look familiar to you, they are a reuse from the Bizarro figure we got from McFarlane last year or 2 years ago. Can't remember which one it was. With all that said though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the accessories and take a closer look at Eradicator's detail. When it comes to the detail, guys, starting off with the head sculpt, I like how the gold shades really pop on this figure's face. But that is because McFarlane went the lazy route and just reused the black paint from the uniform and just coated it all over his face and his neck. I personally would have liked to see a different tone or different shade of black, maybe just a little bit lighter, maybe like a smoke black compared to the jet black here, because this guy just conforms as a whole with his uniform. I get he's an AI, he's an android, he's some type of robot or whatever the case may be, but just show a little bit of differentiation when it comes to paint on this guy. Going down here to this chest emblem though, guys, I really do think they did an amazing job. They conformed it into the suit because you can actually see it. It's not sticking all the way out of the suit, but it is sculpted into the uniform. One of my other favorite touches is this cape. Looking at it from the front, I've always imagined McFarlane putting the cape attached to the emblem, and I'm glad that we are finally seeing that. But the only thing I do not like about this cape is there's just too much going on back here. I respect it. I like what they were trying to do, but you didn't even give us a flight stand, so why would I want my Superman or, excuse me, my Eradicator just standing there with the wind blowing his cape that way? I would much rather have him flying with this cape flapping in the wind. So it is a nice design, but it is not one of my favorites. He's kind of stuck posing like this, standing on his base, but I do have 1 or 2 flight stands left laying around, so I'll probably get to him on a flight stand. Going down here to his legs and crotch area now, guys, it is just a different color of the blue and the black. I really do love the blue and black together, though. They really do pop, especially that blue. It kind of almost looks like it's gonna fade into my background, doesn't it? Just a little darker, but it looks like it could almost get away with it. Going down here to his legs now, guys, it is still blue and black. Not really much going on for this guy. Not really a lot of different colors of paint. He's just black, red, and blue. Not really much going on for this guy. Not even a different color for his back. With all that said, though, guys, let's go ahead and move away from the detail and take a closer look at his size, articulation, and the size comparison. When it comes to how tall the Eradicator stands, guys, he does, of course, stand at the classic 7-inch scale that McFarlane likes to do. Moved us in a little bit closer to take a look at the articulation, guys. So let's take him off of his base here, slide him up just a little bit. When it comes to his head articulation, his head unfortunately doesn't really look up thanks to the tuft of hair he has going down his neck here. It stops about there, but it's still in the way. He is on that ball joint though, so he does rotate all the way around and get some decent head tilt in as well. And he can look down about that far. When it comes to his arm articulation, guys, this arm goes out about that far, and it does, of course, rotate all the way around, but thanks to the wind design in his cape, this arm doesn't really do much other than out and forward and slightly back. Going over here now, guys, looking at his bicep swivel. He does have bicep swivel, but it is very tight, so be careful if yours is as tight as mine. Double hinged elbows, and his wrists are, of course, on that old ball joint peg going on here, but it does rotate and hinge up and down. Looking at his ab articulation, guys, his ab crunch is non-existent forward, but he does, of course, lean back. When it comes to his waist articulation, his waist swivel is there, and he can kick forward about that far, kick back about that far, which is pretty much next to none. Double hinged knees, and his ankles do articulate down. They articulate up, toe articulation, and, of course, ankle pivot. Starting off the size comparison, guys, we do, of course, have Eradicator standing next to the Man of Steel himself, and they do scale together quite nicely. And as we can see, McFarlane is just reusing, for now, this Superman body mold. Moving away from the DC Universe, guys, here we have him next to the NECA Toys Warrior Predator, and you can see that the scale still works if you want your Predator to be that towering monster. And last but not least, guys, here we have the Eradicator next to Marvel Legends, Mr. Fantastic. Alrighty, guys, and there you have it. Another action figure review video in the books on my channel for you guys to enjoy. When it comes to my review on the Eradicator, I'm going to have to give him a solid 5.5 out of 10. Do I think this guy should have been a gold label? Absolutely not. I just can't see the appeal, the overall appeal to this guy. I get the idea. I like it. It's a solid plan, but it's just kind of lackluster. And just with the gold fingertips alone, I feel like that is just very, very lazy. Whenever I see a gold edition or a gold label, I want it to be the top tier selection for my figure. I want it to be the best of the best. I want to say the only thing that I really find super appealing to this guy is the emblem attaching to the cape and not so much the cape as constantly blowing to the wind. And he didn't even get a flight stand. That just looks so much better to me with the cape like that as opposed to him just standing there. But I digress. So 5.5 out of 10 is all I can give this guy. With all that said though, guys, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and smack the like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Later.